Hey, Dr. Chris. This is Scott. I'm here answering questions for my midterm. So the first question was asking about teams and why it's important in multimedia learning environments. Um, and I think one of the major things that I've realized from working with my Team Worldwide, has been how smooth things run. If I was on my own trying to learn Twitter or Google Plus or Blogger or Facebook all at the same time, I think I'd be overwhelmed and I'd struggle with stuff that becomes easier to figure out when you have someone right next to you saying like, "Hey, did you figure this out?" And they'll help you along and guide you if you need it. I think in more professional settings, like in at the Federal Women's Council event, we saw how teams worked in production because one person can't manage the camera and the lights and the audio and the subjects like the interviewer and the interviewee at the same time. So you have a team with people who might have specialized tasks that they excel at, or just a group of people who you're able to say, hey, you work the camera, I'll work this camera, and things run smoother. Um, I think our group, Team Worldwide, has been great. I know you've commended us at least once in regards to our blogs. We really, we really keep up to date and make sure we have the right number of photos and videos and sounds and stuff on our blogs. And we always pass the blog checks, which is pretty great. Um, some examples. I think one of the ones that I mentioned in my written part was picking our logo. We had a little problem because we couldn't. We had a really great logo, but we couldn't get it on the Facebook page. It would show up on the person, whoever uploaded it. It would show up on their computer as being visible, but when I went to it, I couldn't see it. There was no thumbnail, and when you clicked it, there was no image. And it was the same for other people who hadn't uploaded it. So we all talked and we said maybe if we do this, we'll it'll show up. And we tried it and didn't work. And I said maybe if we download it to the desktop and then upload it from there, it'll be different on my computer, or it'll just be a different technique that maybe Facebook would recognize better. And it did. And I think it was something that if Lauren hadn't asked, hey, can you see the logo that I posted on Facebook, we would have been stuck with not having the logo put on the Facebook page at the right time. But we were able to communicate, and then when we were trying to figure it out, we were all communicating and working together. And it was such a simple thing, but the fact that we were put in teams and we had become comfortable with talking to one another and working with one another and comfortable enough to ask for help, that was a huge thing that made things go smoother. For the second question, you asked us what the three most important things that I learned in class so far. The first one would definitely be the three-point lighting exercise. Just the video itself that you told us to look at and analyze in one of our blog posts was something that I'd never thought of before in looking at videos and interviews and stuff, but recognizing now the techniques that are required to make things look right, I'd be able to recognize if they lacked that technique. After watching that video, that was a big, again, it seems so small, but it's not something I ever thought about. But once I learned the technique by watching the video and having you talk about it, and then later having at the FWC event, having the actual three lights shown by you saying this light is the key light, it goes here so that this part of the face is lit up, this is this one, and then explaining when you have a second subject, you need a whole another set of lights to make sure that the light is even. That was one of the major pieces of knowledge that I've gained from taking this class. Number two would just be the event itself and learning by doing and learning by directly observing, being able to see you and the people that worked at FEB TV setting up the lights and the cameras and placing the interviewer and the interviewee in the proper place, and standing on set and just watching everything go down was something I'd never expected to do. In college, or even before I took this class, I'd never expected to do it in this class just because I didn't know what to expect. But seeing it in action and actually acting by driving there, getting all dressed up, meeting people, working with my classmates, the other students, and saying, "Hey, did you get a picture of this? Are you taking video of that? Did you see what's in that room? They have makeup and they're doing hair." And I think it was a great example of learning by doing, which is one of the aspects of this course that I like and that I think you stress, and I really like that, and I learned a lot from the FWC event. Third would be using Google+. I really like Google+, just because I'm growing out of desire to have a Facebook for various reasons, but it's a tool that I wanted to learn more about but never really tried. I really only picked like 10-15 people to follow that were interesting to me. Maybe follow some pages like the New York Times or something like that, just to see news. And that was definitely something that I learned a lot. Learning how to use Hangouts was a major thing that I'd always wanted to try. I'd heard about Hangouts. I'd seen like President Obama offering a major Hangout for people who wanted to ask him questions and stuff like that, but I never actually tried it. And then downloading the necessary things and communicating with my group about, hey, did you do this so that we can do the Hangout? Are you having trouble with this? And we helped each other out, and we were all able to get on one Google Plus Hangout, and it was a big thing because I see the usefulness of it in the future for businesses and companies, for talking to clients overseas, or just having group discussions with friends that you can't really have on Skype because it's mostly one-on-one stuff. So I think learning how to utilize Google Plus has been a major area of knowledge that I've gained. So the third question involved our experiences with edutainment and convergence methods, which you definitely stress, and how the field trips and the different technology tools have enhanced our learning. And I think there's been a great balance between stressing what edutainment is and using the tools to the ends of edutainment. Like using YouTube is one area that I never really desired to do because I never thought I had. I didn't really take a lot of video, and I never thought that I'd have anything entertaining enough to put on YouTube that would generate hits or whatever. But with you doing trials or talking about events and stuff like that and saying, whip out your phones and record this so that you can put it on YouTube, so you can put it on your blogs or tweet it or whatever, that's one of the areas that that's been good, that I've learned a lot, and that I can definitely connect with education/entertainment and converging all the different technological mediums into one, from phone to video to YouTube to blog to Google Plus. It's all one thing. I think that's been the prime example of edutainment and convergence.